Hello everyone and welcome back to Amazing Philippines channel. A few days ago I did a video about three condominiums here in Cebu City, Philippines, who had their electricity turned off because Visaya Electric, the electric provider, had not been paid, and they warned the management company and they still weren't paid, so they cut all electricity off. Anyway, in this video, this is an update to that video, and got a lot of comments, a lot of views, a lot of comments, a lot of questions, and I'm going to answer a lot of those questions. I've been living here in the Philippines almost 10 years, three different trips, six different condominiums. I also do a lot of videos in condominiums. Started that 2016. I'd go into malls, the real estate agents would grab me and say, "Come and look at my condo right now." And I had a camera with me, so I would take videos, put them up on my channel, and got a lot of interest. You know, what do they rent for? What do they look like? What do they sell for? What are the amenities? All that type of thing. Anyway, I've got over 1,500 videos up. And anyway, let me right away answer one of the questions, very important questions that came up. One guy stated that I thought all condos had backup generators. Well, no. They may, they like the first place I lived in, Edatis, they had a backup generator, but that generator only would cover the elevator and the lights in the common areas. So the units had no electricity, no lights, no air con, no nothing there. The outlets were dead when that would happen. Uh, Persimmon condo had had backup generator, but when the electric went out, which happened a couple times, fortunately only for about an hour at a time, I think I could usually operate my air conditioner. Not always. Sometimes there was enough juice coming where I could operate the air con, window type air con, and sometimes it didn't seem to work. Queensland Manor, pretty sure it was Queensland Manor that I lived in for over a year. Their backup generator would only work. It gave you electricity at one outlet. If the electricity went down, the generator would kick on. Sometimes not right away, and you could plug a fan or something into that one outlet, which was inconveniently located right next to the entrance door to the condominium. And used it a couple times, turned the fan on. There again, the outage didn't last too long, hour or two, I think, at the most, if I remember properly. There are some condominiums. The condominium I'm living in now, it has 100% backup power. And a question you want to ask when you move in, do you have a backup generator? Well, they'll tell you yes, like Persimmon did. But it may or may not provide the full power that you would like. So yeah, we had last week, and we do not get very many power outages here, but we did have one about a week ago, and it was quite a bit of Cebu City actually was out. My girlfriend was at Ruston Supermarket in Ayala Mall. Electricity went off there, and I'm a 30-minute walk from there, so a large part of Cebu City went down apparently. And 20, 30 minutes, maybe a little bit longer than that. But yeah, I've got some lanterns here, and I turned a couple of those on because the generator did not kick on for whatever reason, did not come on. So I'm not sure what the issue was there, but when it did come back on, it was in the evening, so it was dark. When it did come back on, I turned my two air cons on, cooled it down so we could sleep at night. I charged up I've got a battery backup fan, decent size. It'll run about 8 hours on the battery. So I charged it up, made it sure it was full charge. So anyway, let's get into the story. Condo owners get their own meters. So I have my own meter here, and I think in almost every place I've had my own meter, which is important. Having access to that meter is also important, so you can check the readings. I think next month I'm going to ask them to double check the reading because I think my electric bill is a little bit higher than what it should be. Anyway, after power disruptions hit 3 condominium buildings in Cebu City, Visaya Electric Company has agreed to install individual meters for unit owners. Well, that's great, but we're going to see some problems as we go through this article. What if you're an owner, you're working overseas, you've got an agent taking care of it. He doesn't have all the title and everything that they're going to require to hook up an individual. It's going to take some time for this to happen. Apparently, you don't do something like this overnight, and there's a lot of legal issues about making sure you're the owner before they agree to hook it up. Get the product in, do the wiring. Anyway, this agreement was reached following a meeting with Mayor Garcia at City Hall Tuesday, February 25th. It's 26 here as I'm doing this. Garcia met with Visaya Electric's legal affairs team to address the concerns of homeowners from Grand San Marino residences, Corinthian residences, and Royal Garden residences affected by the power outages. The mayor has warned the condominium building's developer, Land Traders World Properties Corp., to address the residents' complaints about power disconnections and mismanagement. More than 10 homeowners from Grand San Marino, say that 10 times fast, and Corinthian residences attended the meeting, along with legal counsel of Land Traders. No homeowners from Royal Garden residences were present. I don't know why that is, and we'll take a look at this article here in just a few minutes. Land Traders were not involved in daily operations of the 3 condos. No, we'll get into the details here. Visaya Electric Revenue Management Head, Exaltation, what an interesting name, said they will first assess the metering system in the buildings before implementing individual meters. So that's going to take a week or so probably. While this process is ongoing, Visaya Electric will provide assistance to homeowners applying for individual metering. We still need to verify it on site technically in terms of electrical and mechanical setup. We'll also check that one. Aside from complaints about power disruption, a homeowner from Parthenon Residences, another property developed by Land Traders, raised concerns about mismanagement in the condominium. The homeowner said garbage had been piling up in the building's garage and that security personnel had been absent since December. Now, several of the condos I've lived in, each floor has a garbage chute or a garbage room, and you take it down there, and it's often overloads the bin there. But maintenance at some point during the day or evening will come and collect it and take it to wherever they take it to. Lived in one building, I think it was Queensland Manor, where we had to take the garbage down to the basement, give it to the security, and they would take it off to some bin someplace. Anyway, every building is a little bit different in that respect. We have no security, no maintenance. The garbage is in the parking area, the homeowner said. According to the homeowner, security guards left their post because they had not been paid. So there is an issue with, and we'll get into, they've got a management company. In response, Garcia told Land Traders legal counsel that he would meet with the firm's owners late that afternoon. Remember, do not fight City Hall. We hold so many things, your business permit, building permits, occupancy permits, everything is under City Hall. Visaya Electric's legal affairs head, Ernie Villaren, said a team would assist homeowners with the application process. One of the requirements is proof of ownership, which could be a tax declaration, a deed of sale, or a contract to sell. There again, could run into problems if you're renting there and you're dealing with an agent and the agent doesn't have any of those documents. They're going to have to wait to try to get them from somebody if that owner is living overseas. Do they have a relative with the proper documents in their hand? It could delay things. However, homeowners said land traders only provided them with certificates of ownership and appreciation. That same thing has happened here where I live. There's been a big fight with the homeowners, the owners of condos here, and I'm not an owner, I'm a renter, trying to get more and more control. And they had an election recently. In fact, a year ago they had an election, but the owner of the condominium, whoever was in charge, the real estate company, whatever, who has control of the building, nulled and void the decision. They had elected a year ago. They had elected new board members. The company said, no, that is null and void, basically, because we weren't invited. Therefore, you didn't have a quorum, and so we, at that point in time, they hired Colliers to take over management. And I think because of that, they raised our electric rate from 13 to 15 to 18 pesos per kilowatt hour. They also raised the condo dues fee from 70 pesos per square meter to 100 pesos per square meter, which is quite high for 11, 12-year-old building. We have to be particular about the register owner because we cannot just energize any account. In this case, we'll discuss this with Land Traders Legal Counsel. Exaltation from Visaya added that homeowners would also need to provide a billed deposit when applying for individual meters. So I think that means you're going to have to put a deposit on your account. Visaya Electric disconnected power to hundreds of units in the three Land Traders properties on Friday, February 21, due to unpaid bills. After Garcia intervened, power was restored at two of those units. On February 22nd, power was restored at Corinthians residences late Tuesday afternoon, the 25th. So they were without electricity for a long time. Vilena said the disconnection happened because some homeowners failed to pay their electricity dues for months, forcing the developer to shoulder the payments until it could no longer afford to pay Visaya Electric. There have been delinquent homeowners. Land traders kept covering the payments since it was no longer enough. VECCO, Visaya Electric, cut the power. However, homeowners refuted her claim, saying that management would immediately cut their electricity and impose penalties if they missed a month's payment. That sounds accurate to me. And jump over to this other article, Land Traders. We're not involved in daily operations of the three condos, but the real estate company that owns three Cebu City condos affected by power outages said Tuesday, February 25th, that it is not involved in the day-to-day operations of its completed projects. Land Traders World Properties, in a statement sent to Sunstar on Tuesday, said that its role as a developer is separate from the condominium corporation, which is composed of unit owners who tapped Vertical World Property Management Corp. Let's get into this. So it says that the unit owners hired Vertical World Property Management Corp. Interesting point. Vertical World Property Management is also owned by the Land Traders World Properties Group, is what I understand from the rest of the article. So they've got a property management company within the development company, something like that, to manage the operations of these three residences. We would like to clarify, as a developer, Land Traders World Properties is a separate entity and is not involved in management or operational decisions of these buildings. Hundreds of residents were affected, including students and elderly individuals who expressed concern about security and dwindling water supply caused by the disconnection. Most of these condos have a water tank up on the roof area, up very high anyway, and they use electric to pump it up there, and that gives you decent water pressure coming down. Visaya Electric confirmed the disconnection, stating that reconnection terms had been communicated to the management. In an interview on Tuesday, Maribel Famat, Chief Operating Officer of Land Traders, said Vertical World is the third-party property manager overseeing the buildings. There again, my understanding further down is okay here. Famat said Vertical World is a subsidiary of Land Traders. So, you would hope there was communication between the subsidiaries on a crisis such as this. While the two are distinct entities, they belong to the same holding company, she clarified. Sunstar attempted to reach Vertical World through calls and texts on Tuesday, but received no message. As of press time, the company urged condo unit owners to share this responsibility, warning that delays in payment affect all residents. And I can walk down several floors. The building I'm in, I think it has 33 floors, and I've walked several different floors, and on many floors there's 2, 3, 4 notices on doors that your condo dues have not been paid, and therefore whatever you need to pay up. And there's varying amounts that are stated, but they're pasted to the door. So obviously, the owner, for whatever reason, isn't paying the dues, is bailing out of the property, has tried to sell it, can't sell it, for whatever reason. Different developers, different condo buildings, developments operate a little differently. I've been told over and over and over again that particular buildings, when I've talked to owners, that the development company or their management company controls the condo board. Therefore, the actual owners have a minority say in everything. And if a couple things can happen. They haven't sold a certain percentage of the units, so the developer or management company is the one that gets those votes, probably because they are still in ownership of those properties. So let's say 30% of the units are not sold. Well, that gives the management 30% right away vote, and they won't vote their own people onto the board. There's other issues that owners are overseas and they're not here to vote. They can assign somebody as a proxy voter. I think that's the proper term, but I think that oftentimes doesn't happen. I've had a realtor years ago. We drove by a project down by Robinson's Galleria. That's a land traders project, and I forget what the name is on it, but it's very, very delayed and still delayed. I think it had some damage in 2021 during Typhoon Odette. Had some walls that got blown in, and yeah, whoever invested in that they're surely not very happy at this point in time. But this real estate agent told me that yeah, these people, they're always late on their developments. So there are some developers who are much better at completing projects on time than others, put it that way. And somebody asked me in the comments, is there a place to go to find out this type of thing? And I haven't found it yet. If anybody knows where to find that information, please let us know in the comments. Real estate in the Philippines is, even in Manila, where you would think they would have a lot more information, is not very transparent. Prices that are paid for things are often stated as much lower for tax purposes. You pay one thing, you declare a much lower price for tax purposes. What do they call it? Multi-listing set up here like it does in the U.S., where any real estate company, licensed real estate agent, can sell a property. And here's something else that happens is that is that if you're a real estate agent and you have somebody that you've shown them some properties, they're not interested in the properties that you are representing, but they are interested in this other project over here. So they contact the realtor that's in charge of that area or somebody they know, and now they're in a split commission type deal. They're going to split the commission, but that person also has been referred by somebody else, so now it's a three-way split. And I've had real estate agents confirm to me that yes, you can get 5 or 6 different people sharing commissions on various deals, and it obviously they lose very much incentive in showing you other properties because of that, because they're going to get a much higher commission. And on rentals, for instance, a rental commission is usually for a 1 year rental. Their commission is 1 month rent. So if the rental is 25,000, their commission is 25,000 when you sign that 1 year lease. Anyway, one other thing I'll tell you, when I've been here 3 years, this building, and we'll probably have got a 1 bedroom, 25,000, which is a fair price. My understanding before the pandemic, it was 35,000. Nice view, but it's a noisy neighborhood. The brain guys around me, a lot of noise going on a couple times a week, if not more often. But anyway, like I was saying, the Colliers came in about a year ago, and they were more strict. In fact, I had a friend. He was going to Thailand, and he asked me if I would store a couple things for him. And I said, yeah, I can do that. He brought some things over. He brought some things over here, and I'm bringing them in, and the front desk is shouting at me, sir, sir, sir. And I went back there. You have to fill out this paper and state what you're bringing in. And so I did. I think I wrote seven items, because we had a kind of a medium-sized storage case and a couple boxes, a couple other things, a fan. She said, "No, no, you have to itemize everything." And I said, "No, that's not going to happen. That's not acceptable. You're going to ask me," and they did. They had a stack. You're going to ask everybody that walks in that door with a package to itemize what they have in their package. Are you going to look in the package, open boxes, check and see what's in there? And she's, "Oh, it's for your own safety, sir." I said, "That has nothing to do with my safety. This is my friend. I know what we're bringing in." After a couple of weeks of that, they stopped that. They had a couple other little rules that didn't go over very well with the management as well, and they finally backed off. And they seem to be, they do their job. The security guys, I mean, if they don't recognize somebody, they ask them to check in. They ask them for an ID. That's good. You don't want any stranger wandering around your building. So very slowly, they're starting to do they're painting, doing some painting outside. It's taking an awful long time for them to do that, so not sure what the holdup is. They've got scaffolding around part of the building. And there's some other issues, and they came knocking on my door here a couple of weeks ago and asked about some issues. We wrote a thing up here, what, 2.5 years ago, I think, and they said, "Oh, we're going to, after we're done with this and this, and we're going to address some of these other issues in the coming year, or maybe 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 a year or 2 or 3, because they're very important issues. When we get a south wind, rainstorm, many units facing the south get rain just pouring in through the south-facing windows, and all the way on up. I've got a guy 6 floors above me. Happens there. Happens to the unit above me. Nobody lives there. So then it leaks through the ceiling. And I haven't had anything leaking through the ceiling this year or last year. I bought some clear sealant, and I went around all the areas, the bottom window sills, went around all that, and one up top, and seems like I have sealed off Most of it, because I haven't had any water on my bedroom floor. Anyway, management companies can mean a lot, and then if their job is to collect the rent and the utilities and that type of thing, and they aren't getting paid, and then the management company stops paying the security people, the security company that they hired, and they stop paying them. They when they run low on money, they stop paying the help. Then the help finally quits. You hear that story a lot here in the Philippines. We haven't been paid. We haven't been paid, and even happens in government employees, different agencies. You'll read once every month or two that why haven't these government employees been paid? Could be an issue many places in the world, not just here in the Philippines. But anyway, that's just kind of update on that. A little bit of news about renting. I'd say as far as leases, I've had 3 leases. I did a video on my membership site about leases, and I would say that membership site, lower left-hand corner under the video, there's a join button, 2 different levels for members who want to support the channel. So anyway, gives you a little information on condos. Safe travels, and I'll see you in the next video.